Is your love truly unconditional, or is it secretly chained by fear, expectation, and the desire to control? Think about it. Modern culture tells us that to love means to hold on tightly. Movies glorify obsession. Songs praise attachment. Social media preaches that if you lose someone, you lose yourself. But the Stoics would say, this is not love. This is slavery. Real love, unconditional love, is not about weakness or blind devotion. It is about strength. It is about learning to love without chains, to care deeply yet remain free. Today, we're going to explore how ancient Stoic wisdom can transform the way you approach love, attachment, and relationships, so you can love fiercely without losing yourself. Part 1. The Modern Paradox of Love. We live in a time of conditional love. You're loved if you meet someone's expectations, if you behave how they want, if you give them what they crave. And when those conditions are not met, love fades. This creates fear, fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. But here's the paradox. The more we cling, the weaker the bond becomes. The more we try to control, the faster love slips away. The Stoics understood this over 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your child, whisper to yourself, 'Tomorrow it may die.' Do not tempt fate." At first, this sounds harsh, but his point wasn't to be cold. It was to remind us that everything we love is fragile. By accepting this, we learn to love more fully, not less. Part 2. Stoicism's Secret. Love without attachment. Most people think Stoics were detached, unfeeling. But that's a lie. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." The Stoics did not reject love. They cultivated it. But they loved with wisdom, not chains. This wisdom comes from the dichotomy of control, knowing what is yours and what is not. You can control how much love, care, and honesty you give. You cannot control whether someone stays, whether they change, or whether they give you the same in return. When you confuse the two, you suffer. But when you separate them, you are free. There's another powerful Stoic concept called oikiosis, the widening circle of affection. Love begins with the self, expands to family, then friends, then all humanity. This is unconditional love, not because it clings, but because it radiates outward without demand. Part 3. Navigating relationships with Stoic strength. So how do you practice this? In real life? The Stoics used a tool called premeditatio malorum, premeditation of hardships. Imagine the struggles in your relationship before they happen, not to poison your mind with fear, but to prepare. If you know that misunderstandings, conflicts, even loss, are inevitable, you stop being surprised by them. Instead, you meet them with resilience. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." Let's make it practical. Next time you feel overwhelmed by someone's choices, stop. Ask yourself, what is in my control here? Maybe it's your patience, your clarity, your presence, but their reaction, their growth, their flaws, those are not yours to own. And when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you actually free space for love to breathe. Part 4. Cultivating compassion and resilience. Stoicism is not about being a stone. It's about being unshakable so you can love more fiercely. The virtue of justice teaches us to treat others fairly, not through our selfish desires, but through what is right. This means loving someone not because they give us what we want, but because love itself is a gift. When grief and loss come, Stoicism offers strength. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." He wasn't denying sorrow. He was showing us that pain is woven into existence, and when you accept that truth, you can transform suffering into growth. This applies not just to others, but to yourself. Too many people withhold self-love until they succeed, until they are validated, until someone else approves of them. But Stoicism teaches unconditional self-respect. Your worth is not measured by outside applause. It's measured by the character you cultivate inside. Part 5. Embrace a love that lasts. Here is the final truth. Unconditional love is not weakness. It is power. It is not dependency. It is freedom. To love without attachment is to love without fear, to give without keeping score, to care deeply, while knowing that nothing in this world is fully yours to keep. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you have the power to benefit someone, why put it off? So love boldly, but love wisely. Be the kind of person whose love strengthens, not suffocates. Because when you master attachment, you unlock the ability to love in its purest form, unconditional, resilient, and eternal. So, I ask you, are you ready to love without chains? Not the fragile love of conditions, but the strong love of Stoic wisdom. Begin today. One principle at a time. One choice at a time. Love fiercely. Love freely. And never lose yourself in the process.